Kingdom people, they are invalids. They are invalids. And so, kingdom people, first I want to say that we are not people who go around calling people invalids. We don't do that. However, this is what I was told concerning these people in particular. Your enemies, the ones who come for you, who keep coming for you, or who kept coming for you. And now they're feeling away because they don't feel good about themselves. Kingdom people, they feel like they are invalid. And God said they are invalids. The reason why they are invalid is because God does not validate them or what they do. So that makes them invalids. And so ultimately, invalids are considered to be weak, feeble, obviously not strong, and just not fit for purpose. And so that's what ultimately stood out to me, not fit for purpose. And in this case, not fit for God's purpose. God can't use them. Not for his purpose, not for his kingdom, should I say. God can't use them. And anyone that God can't use are invalids. And so the thing about this kingdom people is these people feel like invalids. And here's why. First of all, you won't validate them. These are the kind of people that need so much validation from everybody but themselves. They don't even validate themselves. Well, they do validate themselves by using others, I guess, if that's the case. But if they don't have that validation from others, they don't feel so valid. And what God pointed out to me is your validation would mean so much to them. It would really validate them. And because you won't do it, they don't feel validated. So, I was watching this TV show on Sunday. Or it was Saturday. I was watching this TV show. This is a TV show that I learned about from I was talking to a representative from a company who I was, learning about their services for real estate, for my real estate business. And they mentioned this TV show, this company who has a TV show that, that they work with them. And so I looked this TV show up and I started watching it. So what happened was when I started watching it, they only have 2 seasons. So I just started watching from where it started me from. And it was actually season 2. I didn't realize this till the end of season 2. So I went back to watch season 1. Now, there's a young lady in this TV show. It's a family business. The dad owns the business and he has 3 daughters. Well, actually, I think he has 4. But 3 daughters are really highlighted because they're the adults and they work in this business, in the real estate business with their particular business. And so when I went back to watch season 1, which is what I was watching the episode on Saturday, this young lady had just got into real estate. She was just starting. Mind you, this is the owner's daughter. She's young. She was about 25 years old at the time. And a young lady had brought a client to her for a showing. And the young lady, the company owner's daughter, she didn't do so the best. She didn't really know the ins and outs of the property. She didn't do so good. So this young lady who brought the client for the showing is the young lady's best friend. In other words, well, her sister's best friend. In other words, the young lady who was actually doing the showing, she is sisters with her sister, which is the business owner's daughters. This young lady who brought the client for the showing, she's best friends with the other young ladies who was doing the showing sister. And so she told the young lady that she gave her a B+. In other words, she kind of graded her on how she did. Where it came out in a different conversation that the young lady who did the showing with the whole totally different young lady, she was just saying how she felt like it went, going through her emotions or whatever. And she mentioned that the young lady said she gave her a B+, but she felt like she could do better, whatever. And so the young lady she was talking to felt the way, she felt, bad because the young lady was pouring her heart out to her. So she told her, well, she actually said she told you B+, but really she gave you a C. She said you didn't really do so good because you didn't know this, you didn't know this, and you didn't know this. And so the young lady was distraught. She was just kind of like, oh my goodness. And so I'm making a point here, Kingdom people. Stay with me. So I'm watching, this all play out because word got back to the young lady that said the whole thing, that she really, that now she knows that she really said behind her back that she really gave her a C+. Then the owner of the company, the father, finds out about it. And so it was this whole thing. And what I'm getting to here is this, Kingdom people. Watching season 2, that young lady is killing it, if I can say that. She's doing very well. Mind you, I watched season 2 first and had to circle back around and watch season 1. So seeing that, I'm like, oh. So again, watching this all play out, I'm like, girl, man, she was a little bent out of shape over it and didn't feel so good about it and didn't feel validated. However, I'm talking while I'm watching. I'm like, girl, you go ahead and do what you do, because that's what you do, and do better. You improve, you handle your business. And that's exactly what she did. And so, so much so, like I said, she doing her thing. And so I'm watching this and I'm talking all this, saying this. I'm like, girl, you handle your business. You got this. And while I'm doing all this, I'm being made aware, or had been made aware, look, after the fact, that there was someone in the vicinity listening to that. They heard that. They were ear hustling. They heard me saying all of this. Now, this is a person that I don't talk to or deal with like that for obvious reasons, because they be on cuckoo crazy with me. And what God starts saying to me is that that's what that person wants from me. They want me to validate them. Because ultimately, I was validating that young lady. I was encouraging her. Even though I was talking to the TV. I was talking to her on TV. I'm like, girl, you got this. You good. And again, I'm knowing this too from what I already see her doing in season 2. But just me knowing her, looking at her in season 1, that just still was my attitude. Like, girl, come on, handle your business. That's just something I would do with anybody to cheer them on. And so, again, God was showing me how this person heard that. And they want me to do them like that. But I don't. I won't even have anything to do with them. And, Kingdom people, the thing is this. When people are on wickedness, we don't validate that. This person knows that I would do that. They know that I'm that kind of person. They know I ain't no hater. They know all that. They know that they the opposite of me. I'm the opposite of them. We not like them. They not like us. They know this. However, they still want that from me. But here's the thing. I can't give them that. Being on evil, being on wickedness, acting a fool, and think I'm supposed to cheer that on and encourage them and validate them. And so, when it's all said and done, Kingdom people, this person feel like an invalid. This is what God was showing me. They heard that. They've heard other things where they know that I'm like that. I'm encouraging. I'm motivating. Again, I ain't no hater. I'm an elevator. If anything, I'm going to elevate, people. And that's what this person wanted from me. So, kingdom people, what am I saying here? There are people, they're feeling like invalids. And they're feeling like invalids because you won't validate them. They're feeling like invalids too because of all the horrible things, not only that they've done towards others, but they've done towards you when you are the one who like to, I'm hearing, pump people up. You know what I'm saying? You a motivator. You an encourager. You ain't trying to push nobody down like they do. You trying to level people up and help bring people up. Yes, even when you just, ministering the word of God. When I say minister, I ain't saying that you preacher or anything like that. I'm just saying being who you are. Encouraging people, just loving on them, showing them love, engaging them in a loving way because that's who you are. Kingdom people, that's you ministering the word of God. The word of God, God is love. So when you loving on people and just engaging them and showing them love and being love, you ministering the word of God itself. And so these people know this about you. And these people that came for you, that tried to pull you down, stop you, block you, get your attention, all that, and you ain't paying them no attention, they do recognize that you are very much so leveled up. In other words, they understand that you are on a whole nother level. And kingdom people, you are the very one they want to validate them. And because you won't do it, they feel like invalids. Again, they feel like invalids because all the nonsense they be on. Make no mistake about it. Just because people be on crazy and they seem like they just going on about their life and their business like it's nothing and whatever, and it's just what it is, they feel a way about themselves. And when I say feel a way, I'm saying not a good way. They feel like invalids. They feel weak. They feel like they're not strong. They feel feeble. They feel like they're not fit for a purpose. And they understand that you are because of the way you handle yourself, because of the way you carry yourself, heck, because of the way you handle them. And then the way they see you handle others. You are fit for purpose, for God's purpose, for the kingdom. And so, kingdom people, they are invalids because God does not validate that. The way they operate is invalid to God, which means the way they operate is invalid to you. You're not validating that. You don't put no stamp of approval on their nonsense. And unfortunately, they don't know, even when I want to say they don't know how to behave like they have some sense. But even when they try to, just to get your validation, to get your attention, to try to make you think, try to make themselves appear like there's something they ain't, even though you already know they done already showed their hand. Even when they try to switch it up and be something different, it don't last because it's not who they are. They haven't done the work to truly change from the inside out. They have not been transformed. They just be trying to put on. And so when they do those things and they try to change it up, they trying to get you to validate them, but you don't. And it's because kingdom people, they are invalids. And so they feeling just like that. They don't feel so good inside. And they shouldn't. And when I say they shouldn't, I'm not saying people overall. We're not running around here wishing people don't feel good inside, but we're talking about them. Because sometimes you have to feel bad for your actions, for your behavior. You have to not feel good inside to make the change that's necessary so that you can do better. And prayerfully, that's what they're doing. That's what they will do, prayerfully. But in the meantime, kingdom people, you're not checking for them and all that mess. You're not approving none of that mess. You're not validating them or their mess. And for that reason, kingdom people, not only do they feel like invalids, but for now, until they change all that, for real, they are invalids.